Hello, this is Erica Deeker Larson discussing legal gifting in education or giving gifts in schools. I'll be discussing giving gifts to students, to staff, including teachers, and then a little section on special effort gifts. Giving gifts to students is usually in the form of fundraising incentives or special achievement awards. Fundraising incentives. An example of this would be the student who raises the most money during a fundraiser at school gets a small gift, like tickets to a local amusement park. These should be age appropriate, only given to students who participated in the actual fundraising event. They should not detract from how profitable the event is, and they should also be purchased using funds from the same fundraising group. So, for example, it would not be appropriate to use funds from, say, FBLA to give fundraising incentives to the football players if they have a fundraiser for football. Special achievement awards are when gifts are given at typically annual banquets or assemblies to give students achievement gifts, like, for example, for athletics or academics. Again, these should be of nominal value. They should be age appropriate. Those two are pretty consistent. The gifts should be of nominal value and age appropriate. Throughout this presentation, you're going to see that over and over again. Special achievement awards can be funded by the general fund, through donations, or through the same student fund that it's benefiting. Staff gifts can be for special occasions, again as fundraising incentives, and in the form of what's called all staff gifts. Gifts for special occasions are given when staff members experience special events in their life, like having a baby, getting married, or a death in the family. These are usually funded through what's called a Staff Remembrance Fund. Staff Remembrance Fund is funded by various ways, usually annual dues. At my school, that's through the social committee. They collect dues every year. It could be through staff donations or money that is raised by staff, like, for example, from staff drink machine profits, like in the lounge. It should never be funded by the general fund, and the Remembrance Fund should be managed by a committee. The committee should have written procedures, and the committee membership should rotate every year. Fundraising incentives should be given to staff members who, again, like with student fundraising incentives, the staff members should actually participate in that specific fundraising project. It's important to remember that the incentive comes from the fundraising profit, so it shouldn't exceed more than 5% of the total profit. All staff gifts are gifts given to each staff member, and again, they should be of nominal value. This could be back to school gifts. It could be gifts given during Teacher Appreciation Week. School shirts are often an example of all staff gifts. The textbook authors recommend generally not to give cash or cash equivalent items as staff gifts. It's important to remember that if this does occur, that it must be taxed, so it needs to be recorded on their W-2s. All staff gifts do need to be paid for funds that are designated for this purpose. A good general guideline to follow if trying to decide if the fund is appropriate is if the staff generates the funds, then it is appropriate to use the funds to benefit the staff. So, examples of funds that would be appropriate for this are funds generated by raffles, again, the lounge drink machine, and staff can also have their own fundraising efforts to raise money for this type of a fund. This might take the form of a bake sale or donut sales. The percentage of profits generated by staff, if they participate in all school fundraisers, can also be used to benefit the staff. So it would be appropriate for a fund designated for all staff gifts. All staff gifts can be paid for by donations that are often provided by, for example, the Parent-Teacher Association or organization. If allowed within the specific district, the general fund can also fund all staff gifts. If the general fund is used, the gifts must be inexpensive and they must also be useful in the classroom. The textbook authors do recommend against using general funds for all staff gifts because the premise of general funds is that it should benefit the entire student body. As far as special efforts go, they are fundraising events or money collections that are intended to benefit a staff or student due to a specific event in their life or a situation in their life. The situation or event could be a fire, it could be an illness, but that as a result has caused them to need specific resources. It could be money, it could be specific items. If doing this, work with your district office to make sure that you're compliant with district guidelines. And again, remember that any cash gift or cash equivalent gift must be accounted for, and that the staff member does have to pay taxes on this as income. Generally, the textbook authors recommend to have a group manage these that do not have to account for them on school bookkeeping records. So like the parent-teacher organization or association would be appropriate. And also for this group to work with the local bank that is associated with this effort. Final thoughts. Be cognizant of how you're going to look to the public when giving gifts. If the gifts are too expensive or too fancy, if they look frivolous, then this can make the district look reckless in how they handle their funds, and this could affect future funding. Also, know your district policies and make sure that you're compliant. Again, thank you for listening. This is Erica Duker Larson.